So the cars heading out onto the circuit for their rolling lap ahead of the ClubEnduro Championship, round 5 of this season, with just one more race to come after this. Grid of more than 20 cars, 23 cars that we have today, is on its way around the green flag lap, and we can bring you the grid. Do so. It's going to be a 100-minute race, pit stops between 30 and 85 minutes into the race, with several teams having pit stop penalties to serve. So Scott Parkin in car 1 has a 10-second penalty to serve. Car 6 has a 30-second penalty to serve, which is Ryan Parkin and Dylan Bricks. So rolling start ahead of a 100-minute race for the ClubEnduro Championship. We've got the two Darkside development Audi TTs on the front row of the grid. And it's the twins starting out. Ryan Parkin in car number 6 and Scott Parkin in car number 1. As the red lights go out and the race gets underway, then a bit of a split grid. There's one heading into the pit lane, which I think is Alan Stockford at the end of the rolling lap, but they've all made their way out into this 100-minute race, an hour and 40-minute race for these cars, with mandatory pit stops, as I say. And it's the two brothers, the twin brothers, side by side as they drop down through the left-hand row cascades. But it's Kevin Clark in the BMW M3 that's right with them there in the 3rd position. I think it looks like that might be Ian Jones in the BMW Compact, a very powerful BMW Compact that's there involved. But Kevin Clark made it up to 2nd place now. He's slotted between the two Parkins and has gone to P2 as they head in Charles Corner for the first time.
An opportunistic manoeuvre from Kevin Clark, but it's only going to work for one corner, because back past will go the second of the Audis, which is the car that started from pole position, Ryan Parkin. So Scott Parkin leads from his brother Ryan, and then not really a gap back to Kevin Clark. It's they're almost touching one another as they come out of Britain's for this first time. The second of the BMWs worming its way through as well. Kevin Clark, after an absolute killer getaway, is just losing a bit of momentum now, far more distracted by the compact on his tail as they head up Clay Hill for the first time.
Indeed, then. So it is number 1 that leads, which is Scott Parker. He leads the Class A Championship this weekend with 42 points to 29 of his brother Ryan, who has been showing Dylan for this season. But although it was Ryan and Dylan that won last time out at Silverstone last month, it's Ryan Parker in 2nd place, Kevin Clark in 3rd. It's his first appearance of the season. Very experienced driver in all kinds of cars. And 4th, it's Ian Jones in that BMW Compact, the number 117 car, the 3.2 litre compact. Here's Luke Drowse, number 22 in the Cupra, and he's going wheel to wheel with Darren Ball. I think he's getting a place away from Ball, so that's for 6th position. Looks like Luke Drowse in the Stoke Market as well. Well, he had got through, but as they turn into cascades, it's Darren Ball that gets back ahead now in this sort of Dayglow yellow and black car. Darren Ball, again through Ireland. Kevin Clark very quick at that part of the circuit, and is right on the tail of what is not Dylan Bricks, but it's Ryan Clark, we believe, for the first part of this race. And is right with him, but also for the first company is that mighty BMW Compact. Behind them we've got the Trouble 4 car, which is Claire Norman in her South Cupra TCR, which compares with Alan Blaney.
So Ian Jones has started brilliantly well and matching the pace of Kevin Clark's similar manufacturer car, but a slightly longer version, if you like, versus the compact that is in 4th position. Now, one Audi's been sent off into the distance, and the other one almost being given the job of the tortoise in this, perhaps. So the number 1 car of Scott Parkin is wasting no time whatsoever. However, Ryan Parkin just cannot shake the car of Kevin Clark, which was a relatively late addition to the field, sharing with Aldo Ritti, his E46 M3. And again, late on the brakes, just trying to perhaps force a mistake from the second of the Audis in this race, the Audi TT TDIs. BMW is going to try and run side by side with the Audi. Almost got his front wheels level, did Kevin Clark, with that of Ryan Parkin, but no way through at Old Hall. Might have a chance though this time around the outside of the avenue. Oh, there was a bit of side-to-side contact there, in fact, wheel arch to wheel arch, and that is what eventually gives Kevin Clark second position, but it wasn't without a touch. He got a much better run coming out of Old Hall corner and moves into second.
It does. So exciting battling going on there. So what's happening in the classes? Class B, that's been led by Marshall Webster. That car with a great copy started by Chris Webster, who I think Marshall said was the quickest of the two drivers in that car this weekend. In Class C, well, it's being led by Lee Devon Sandler in number 62, the car that he's sharing with Andy Gay, the BMW 328i. So they're ahead of the car that's still winning this Class C, Sam Dennis and Ash Moore. But Dennis on winning in the third place finish. It's a record deal for whatever anyone else can do in this race. Just a couple of things to note about the pit stops as well. I've told you when you can take them, and there's some success penalties. We also need to say there's going to be 3 minutes long, mandatory 3-minute pit stop for all teams. And one other factor is highly relevant. You cannot take your pit stop behind the safety car. So sometimes drivers and teams will really sort of strategize and take advantage of the safety car period. Well, that element has largely been eliminated. The prohibition of taking your mandatory pit stop when the safety car is out. So the advancement might otherwise get through that car. It's pretty much wiped out. There's the Class B leading car, there's the Jeanette, which Kieran was enjoying in the pit lane earlier on. The 8 car, the Flying Tangerine Racing machine. It's a junior car from years ago, we were hearing. It's going really well, leading its class ahead of the Trundle Ballesteros Audi, which is in second place for just passing Bobby Trundle's car in the background.
Another battle to keep your eye out for is still Claire Norman versus Darren Ball in the Cupra competition, if you like. It'll be the best of the Seat/Cupra brand. One is listed in the programme as a TC, they're probably both TCs. They're that evenly matched, the Darren Ball car. So treble 4 will at some point be handed over to Alan Lenko a little bit later on. There's a change again there because the second of the Audis, Ryan Parkin, is back in front of Kevin Clark now. So Audi, BMW, back to where we were. There was an element of Kevin Clark giving that place back again for fear of incurring the wrath of the stewards, because as I said, there was a touch, although he got a much better run through the avenue and down into Cascade. It may have been done on pure pace, I suppose. Scott Parkin was away in the distance, still leads, but there's a massive margin of nearly 5.5 seconds now between these two leading Audis.
Yeah, that's right, as they send their way through Druids for the fourth tunnel. I didn't notice the cars before the back came from the box window a moment ago. Back for the leading Class C was intense between Lee Devon Sandler and Samuel Dennis. So we be able to pick them up as the race wears on. We're looking at the BMW battling out for third position between the E46 M3 of Kevin Clark and the Ian Jones 3.2 litre BMW Compact, the number 117 car. There is that gap back to the fourth place back. That's Claire Norman and Darren Ball, and not too far behind Luke Rouse and the Stowmarket Class car. So we've got the 3 similar Cupras all together there, very evenly matched. Then just behind them we've got the number 10 car, which is the Rob Fenwick BMW M2 CS that he is sharing with Andrew Shepherd. There you can just see going through, that's the Trundley, just the Trundley stage race, and the TT is going through. 12th position overall. Already 10 minutes into this race. Scott Parkin is getting away quite nicely, 6.4 seconds ahead of the rest of them.
This could be a good opportunity for Darren Ball now to muscle his way ahead of Claire Norman. A very good sense of speed towards Britons, but there just wasn't the real estate again to draw alongside. So some good defensive driving, but it's not particularly fast, so it's not hauling Claire Norman away from these additional 2 Cupras in behind. They go through almost as one, and then the next car in the sequence is the 8th placed number 10 BMW M2. That is what I didn't write down as the starting driver. Car
10 is Rob Fenwick.
Rob Fenwick started it. I'll underline that as we speak. Andrew Shepherd to come later on. Thank you for that. So Fenwick's almost joining the Cupra line. Oh, big lock-up from Claire Norman, and that will give the places away. And I just wonder whether that was just the mere presence of Darren Ball, lap after lap, really pressurising in that situation. And 5th place, a big change around, because Claire Norman is actually going to rejoin in behind Robert Fenwick's BMW M2.
Yeah, she's a very experienced racer actually, this Claire. She's been racing for more than 20 years. She started out WRCC Road Saloons back in 2003. She's done VW Cup, she's done Masters Top Hat Racing, she's done CSX 360, she's been the British Running Racing Drivers Club champion back in 2022, and the Senior Gold Star recipient in 2023 as well. So she's very experienced. It's a Gen 1 Cupra TCR from 2018 2-litre turbo, run by Alan Blenko Racing. Alan has of course taking over the car for the second part of the race, the British Touring Car Championship driver. There is the number 19 car going through. That is the Audi TT of Wayne Lawson at this stage. It's looked that he's going to be in it for the second part, but it looks like it's just lost a position to another orange car, and that is Michael Downey in the Porsche Boxster.
Yeah, another similar move actually to Kevin Clark's earlier overtake for second place as it was at the time. So different speeds exiting Old Hall Corner, and then that pinch point where the road just jinks very slightly to the right of the avenue, but you have to get it set up there to take the natural racing line into Cascades. Too wide at Cascades can actually spit you out on the other side, because there is a crowd in the road almost at Cascades, and you've got to make sure that you're in the groove, which actually the Porsche in this case was not, but was still able to take the position. So that is Matthew Downey Boxster S, and behind the Audi TT of Wayne Lawson, with James Pickford still to come.
Yeah, so that's 14th and 15th. B. There's the class B, which is flashing on the 11th place overall. That's what's Robert so Dennis Robbins running in 2nd, and 3rd in that class is Will Puttigill in the Honda Type R sharing with Chris Knight. Those 3 have just gone through, and the next 2 classes should be to orange cars, the Michael Downey Porsche and the Audi Wayne Lawson. We're going back to the car that's in 2nd place, which is Ryan Parkin at the moment, 6th. Sharon Cole Dietrich to come car later on in the race. Here is the battle for Class C though. This is fantastic stuff. You've got Dendy Sadler, Lee Dendy Sadler there, and then you've got Sam Dennis almost alongside the BMW now as they head into Old Hall Corner, and I think he might have done it. Let's have a look. Yes, he has. So Sam Dennis, number 195, takes the class lead in Class C in this ClubEnduro race, a race at which that team, Sam Dennis and Ashford, could be crowned champions. He's just got through having sat for the first 6 laps of the race behind the BMW of number 62, Lee Denley Sadler, and right in behind him as well, you've also got the Paul Subiani, number 66, BMW 318 TR. That's been shared with Tom Walker this weekend. Johnny Hayes, who was the take part this weekend. So Paul Subiani sharing with Tom Walker this weekend, but already now Sam Dennis has got through. He's pulled out quite a few lengths over those 2 BMWs, and that really just sort of tends to just what other drivers have said. It's a very hard circuit to overtake them, even if you have a bit more pace than your rivals.
Yeah, you've got to take the moment as it arrives, because if you react a bit too late, then that's kind of it gone, and the next few corners you probably can't overtake at. So in a race of this length, I would say that actually you can afford a bit of time to just pursue your opponent, you know, the one that you're trying to overtake, work out where your car is fastest, where it doesn't perhaps have the strength compared to your rival, and once you've worked out the best place to attempt an overtake, then really go for it. On the flip side, you would have wasted a bit of time then to cars further up the road. But that's what an endurance race allows you to do. Just think a little bit more rather than go at it hammer and tongs from the outset, as you might do in some of the 15-minute races we've got elsewhere in the day. Already nearly 15 minutes into this one though. Time is ticking on. Pit lane effectively opens at 30 minutes unless the safety car is out by that point, and you're going to wait until it withdraws.
Slightly helpful is it's not a completely full grid here today, so that obviously reduces the possibility of the intervention of the safety car. Throwing themselves in the seat, so there's less chance of a safety car. So I'm going to touch what it says, but I get the race without that. We're going to see the safety car on a few occasions in sprint races today. So we'll have to wait and see if that does intervene. We'll just go back to that Class C battle. We saw Sam Dennis get ahead. Of course, he does have a 30 seconds penalty to serve in the pit stop compared to other cars in that class. Paul Subiani with only a 20-second penalty to serve. And Nita then decided to have anything to serve in the car he shares with Andy Gay. So really, this stage of the race now for Sam Dennis and Ashley is about pulling out as much of a gap as they can all of their rivals within the Class C, so that they can try to effectively negate that penalty.
All cars just disappearing over the precipice at Avenue, and reappearing, thankfully, Cascades. BMW M2 gaining some ground there. Fenwick has driven well to this point in his number 10 car, and was able to capitalise on that very slight mistake from Claire Norman earlier on. Now the Daimler Yellow Cupra was on the tail of a back marker, I reckon, so that was Darren Ball trying to get through without limiting the time lost to Ian Jones. And the Mazda number 169 is the next car that stands in a lot of the front runners' way. That is the 169 car of Simonite. Matthew Simonite starting, James Mansell in the Class C car still to come later on. It's the Audi that I spotted, yes, which is about to be picked off as well by the all-green Browse car. Luke Browse driving for the first stint.
Yeah, so through Druids they come. 78 car, that is the Matthew Stockford Audi RS3 LMS, the Team Dynamics customer car for this Paralympic skier. Showing the very experienced Honda, usually Honda racer, Alan Jones, but obviously racing the second Audi with Matthew Stockford C. So they're actually third in the Class A Championship this weekend. Best behind the two Darkside development machines of Scott Parker and Ryan Parkin, and 11 off points from Matthew Hampton and Schultz going into this weekend as far as the championship is concerned. Class B is with Benton's Buckingham and Chris Webster leading. That will be Trinity and Sandro Blaisdell second, and then it's Tristan O'Toole and Ryan Bensley in the third place holding. That's right, racing this weekend. But Chris and O'Toole sharing the driving between them. There's Luke Browse going through. He's in sixth position. The Stonemarket glass entered car. Some big beefy cars making their way out of Charles Corner there. The 18 minutes of this race having gone. Down to the right hand of the book has gone. Battle for fifth and sixth, Braun versus Browse. Starting that was 2.3 seconds. I think that's possibly put down a little bit now. Now that's what's gone on there? Oh, that's the some lacquer, isn't it? That race leaders doing. Yeah, I've got momentarily confused with a more beefy compact that's from Upfield, the Ian Jones car. That's the 66 car, the car that's in Class C of Paul Subiani. The new fastest lap of the race has gone to Kevin Clark in third place now at 1:48.251. Lap record for these cars around here is to 146.89, set by Will Stacey here a couple of years ago. The Lotus.
So was Kevin Clark able to pick up a toe here and there, either from back markers, or was he even close enough to be doing so on the parking Audi? I mean Ryan Parkin, not the race leader Scott, because 148.2 on that particular lap was a full second faster than the two cars ahead. So there is scope yet for that gap to the second placed Audi to condense yet further, but Ian Jones isn't a million miles away either in the more beefy BMW compact. So Audi second place ahead of Kevin Clark, getting larger in the mirrors now for Ryan Parkin. All of these Class A cars at the sharp end of the field, the fastest lap indicated on our scoring tower graphic as well. Clark's checked out, that was a mistake for Ian Jones to have delayed very slightly the second of the BMWs.
Clark does stand a good chance of a win here, I think, because although he's third, he's have any success medals, certainly because he's not done any rounds in the championship so far this season. Scott Parkin's got a 10-second penalty, Ryan Parkin's got a 30-second penalty to reflect success they had in the previous round of the championship, so that would likely make a bit of a difference. Certainly as we get into the closing stages of this race.
What do we know about Aldo Ritti's potential pace when he takes the BMW?
I don't think he will be as quick as Kevin Clark. It's surprising because Kevin's a really good driver this week.
And a BMW specialist as well.
A BMW specialist, car racing. But Aldo is too shoddy, but I don't think he quite have the pace that Kevin does. So, yeah, again, that's something to bear in mind. Scott Parkin's doing the whole race solo, so his pace should be predictable, consistent ground. Dylan Brooks will Ryan Parkin their lap times as well, so I think again they'll be fairly consistent the whole race long. There's the Class C leader, the sort of champion elect being lapped, something with Dennis and Ashley looking to get a perfect. Well, it'd be nice to finish the season unbeaten in Class C, wouldn't it? So congratulations on their fastest lap so far. Just looking to see if they've got the best fastest lap in Class C as well as they've had so far. So they're looking good, still 78 minutes to go, but it's looking like Sam Dennis National could make it 5 minutes of fastest laps in a row if things continue in the same vein as they've started here. But at the moment, which is back for second, Ryan Parkin, Kevin Clark.
When they do eventually pit, will they change tyres as well, or keep the same set of tyres they've got on?
Unusual. I mean, I guess the one unknown is actually hard for us to take it, is the weather. So we get a change of weather at any point during this race, because indeed the forecast I saw indicated between 2 and 3 o'clock it might start to rain here, so that could prompt a change in strategy for some. Normally there'll be refuelling, but no change in tyres, and that's obviously there's a damage to a tyre or something like that. I think we did see some tyre changes going on, but the exception.
And I'm guessing that they're all going to be 5 studs to undo and do up again as well. So if you're going to do a 4 tyre change, that starts to compromise your 3-minute potential time to receive benefit in the pit lane. But
yeah, and you can't be doing that while you're refueling as well. So you've got
okay, yes. So there's different things you can do in the pit stop, which will obviously clean benefits, but are they going to essentially delay you in the pit lane? You want something that's not going to take any longer than, well, it's not even 3 minutes stop, is it? Because that's also traversing the pit lane from the white line to white line. And a bit of timing will have been done, I'm sure, as to how long it takes for the car to leave your pit stall or your expected stopping position in the pit road, so you don't breach the 3 minutes. Very, very wide approach there for Ryan Parkin in his number 6 Audi, almost putting the front left tyre onto the grass. I don't think he quite did that. Over the white line, not really attracting this issue, more of a grip potential problem, as he's now going to go to the high side of, and that's either a Porsche Cayman, it is a Porsche Cayman, I was confusing it with another Audi that's a similar colour. So that's the 76 Cayman of Michael Dowdy doing this race solo, and actually very little time lost there by Kevin Clark. He got through in more or less the same position.
Yep, certainly did. As they lap it down in Porsche. Driving down from north of the border. Was inspired by his dad to go racing. Started back in 2018, so that was his 7th season. And aiming for the Company Cup Award this year. There was real potential for that. But at the moment, he's only got 15 points so far. This is the 28 wins behind the lead. The Company Cup is for cars more than a decade old, or established gearboxes, etc. As the second and third cars going through, powering away, there's Downey, Boxster, taking his way Shadow's corner, and a little battle going on, and does this position, yes it is fourth position, and over the grass goes the Senna Osman car, the E30 BMW, the 171 car. Senna Osman showing car with Jody House, the driver from Bromley, therefore loses the position briefly gained back to Matthew Simonite in the Mark III Mazda MX-5. They're shortly going to be backed by Scott Parkin, Parkin and Kevin Clark as well. That's Scott Parkin, will be past them now.
Yeah, so it's going to take maybe a few corners actually for that E30 to clean up its tyres now, and for Osman to be happy to push. Not necessarily for the remainder of his lap, but certainly for the next one. Down towards the apex go both Ryan Parkin and Kevin Clark in their Audi and BMWs respectively. Kevin Clark using a lot of power coming out of that corner, and the car just jumped sideways very slightly on its rear tyres towards the curb, but it was neatly controlled, also ducking underneath the Mazda MX-5 of Matthew Simonite. That was an old hall corner. So Parkin, Clark, and then the Ian Jones BMW. That is now 11 seconds adrift of the rear bumper of Clark. So fight definitely on for second and third. Could well continue on into the second stint, but remember though both of those cars will be changing their drivers for Dylan Richter and for Aldo Ritti. Yes, thank you. So I got there in the end. I thought I've got to look down to my notes rather than the printing program. Aldo Ritti will take over the BMW. So that's all a bit up in the air as to how they will compare for the second stint, and indeed how long each of them gets.
Yes, indeed. 3 minutes or so away now from the pit window opening. So considering it does go for an early start in particular to try to steal a march on rivals potentially. Very interesting to see how the strategy does play out. It's just the one stop that they have in this race. Maybe I guess what potentially being shameful. Maybe you wouldn't want to take the stop too early, so in case the weather does change, then you can do something at the pit stop to schedule things like fuel roads, how far into the race you can go. Today's race won't stretch the cars quite as 5 minutes some rounds, but obviously it's a race, two-hour race, but have a variety of lanes of race this season. 75-minute race, 75-minute race in the Grand Prix circuit. As well. This is just a 2-hour race. So 1 minute race. And should be relatively straightforward for the teams in the club. There is this other narrative for see what might be structures and then
I mean, at the start of the day there was just a general thunderstorm warning, because it's very difficult to forecast where a thunderstorm is going to go, so that has to bottom it off as just being an overhanging threat. But as for actual weather, all around the sky's pretty promising. There's cloud, but there's no darkness approaching in a hurry. The other interesting thing for me is that Ryan Parkin and Kevin Clark have been hard at it, and I thought they'd be actually slowing one another up, but that gap to the race lead has been coming down progressively. It was 5.3 after 8 laps. 4.8, 3.1. It's now down to 2.7. So they're actually getting closer and closer to the leading Audi.
Now I've got the radar in front of me, and what it is showing me is that there is rain and storms, quite heavy rain, heading in this general direction. But it looks, as things stand, like it might just skirt past them to the right.
Almost as if there's a force field, there's an MSV force field, keeping all the bad weather away.
Absolutely. And here comes Kevin Clark, has a look at the inside of Ryan Parkin there into Roger Conant, and quickly decides to be better of it. Remained in yes. Force field to keep the rain away. And I've got a car into the pits, but before the pit window is open, and that's the leader Dendy Sadler BMW 328i. And that's literally just about 30 seconds before the pit window opens, which is very unfortunate. But that's going to be a problem with that car that's pushing into the pit lane. The pit lane window is now not yet. In about 10 seconds it will be open for business, and Ryan will to take their mandatory 3-minute stops should they wish.
Kevin Clark right on the back of Ryan Parkin. He didn't have the best run through the first corner at Old Hall and was under massive pressure. Actually, his braking though into shell oils was a lot more beneficial compared to the BMW, so he's made another gap on the beamer behind. Through Britons they go, threading the Iron Eagle there. The gap's about the same. There's a big chance for Kevin Clark. He still holds the fastest lap. That was done 6 laps ago, and the gap has opened back up again. More to the region of 4 seconds between the two Parkin-driven TTs.
It looks like Claire Norman is that it. Yes, she is. So first driver making a scheduled stop there by the looks of it. There's a time penalty for car 69, which is the Matthew Hampson BMW, and that's the M2. So it's racing car. That she was from track limited. It's got 5 seconds added to its time. So the leader's coming towards the end of the lap. First time when the pit lane window is open. Is anyone going to take it? Well, Scott Parkin hasn't, Ryan Parkin hasn't, Kevin Clark hasn't. They all continue on for at least one more lap with the pit window now having opened. So 55 minutes of it, so it's going to be open during the course of this 85 minutes into it. There is the car. Here we are, we're talking about tyre changes, and it looks like a tyre change is required on that Claire Norman Alan Blanco car. Just leaning in to study the tyres that are being taken on and taken off that car. What are you reading into this from?
Well, I think it's like for like, basically. I don't think you can go early and predict rain arriving, so the tread patterns are very, very similar, but it is a lengthy job. I think it's just a newer tyre, more grip, driving wheels on the Cooper as well, so those will take the ones that take punishment, as opposed to, for instance, Kevin Clark's BMW, the rear-wheel drive. But this is aimed to be early. It could be, of course, that they had 2 tyres that they knew they weren't going to do the distance, but they had a bit of meat on them, whereas these are the better ones now for the new driver as well. So treble 4 will be taken over by Alan Blanco. I remember him in Ford Fiestas.
Yes.
The early 2000s. Right. He raced people like Gordon Shedden and Colin Turkington in those days.
He did, and raced against so that was on the days where the Fiestas were made. Power Tour package and F3 GT Sports, weren't they?
Yes.
At that point in time.
Yes.
Seems to remember.
There may have been a switch, but yeah, Power Tour did incorporate this at certain
one point, didn't it? Yeah. But then, of course, they were successful. Yes, Blanco certainly was a Fiesta racer. Probably tell you exactly when that was, but he's detailed it all down on his commentary. Good man. 2000, he was 5th overall in the Fiesta Championship. He was the champion of the Winter Series that year, 4th overall in 2001, and then did BTCC in the production class Alfa Romeo in 2002. So it was 2010. Yeah. Before that, Soft Racing did the 7th in 1999, the Stock Hatch Championship. He was 4th that year in a version
So 750 came before his running Fiesta.
Yes.
It's gone full circle.
That's right. Just a quick rundown on the order for those who the circuit active time screen. I mean, what it is that's leading, which is Scott Parkin, and 65 Parkin. Second place, 33 is third, which is Kevin Clark. Fourth is 117, Ian Jones. Fifth is 25, Darren Ford. And sixth is 22, Luke Grant. Class B, the leader is number 8, Anthony Ted Marsh in 9th place overall. 155, Paul Simpson. So Simpson's in Class A car, so Class B car is dropping in. And the third Class B car, 12 is Will Possible. And Class C, that's being led by Sam Dennis in 195 from number 66 now, which is Paul Sibiani. And up to third place in there has got Tom Stedman in the Mazda MX-5 since the Dennis Admiral K BMW came into the car. I've been saying that another car to run with that's the Alan Stockton Audi, which is just a stop. So 65 minutes of the race left to go. So I'm blanking.
Yeah, so lap times are not quite, two of them won't quite fit into the 3-minute window. You're going to be 1.5 laps down once you've made a stop. Therefore, you're going to have to be looking as far down as 19th position, so potentially a top 5 or 6 finisher. That will all equalise with time. A bit of a delay there as now Kevin Clark's come in earlier than I expected. Is Kevin yet to get out? So quite done all the bells, I think. Kevin gets out now. Cars are back to go up on the internal jacks with the airline readiness, but fuel first, as we've made the point, so fuel has to be done entirely separately from the potential tyre change. Oh, that's the fire extinguisher. So that was readiness for moving on toward as the fuel was going in. Brakes look very, very hot. So a couple of very hard stops around here. And yes, it's leaking something. Yes. So that's not brakes, is it? It's potential overheat of the engine. Steam or smoke is issuing from the top part of the wheel arch rather than the brake disc. So it's coming from the engine bay or at least the cooling system from the BMW. So that's the concern.
Down the try and finish the news if he can in a moment. Though now on his own in second place is Ryan Parkin number 6. Though this is expected stop because Kevin sensed that there was something on the car and the dials were telling him that things were going a little bit apart. Let's have some news from pit lane in Kieranstown.
Yes, I'm down here with the 33 car at the moment. There's coolant leaking from the front at the moment. The driver did not seem to be too worried about it. But they've just been rushing a load of fuel into it. It's currently been strapped back into the car. The marshal will point out the coolant, but again, yeah, the driver wasn't too concerned about it. He's just starting the car, again, ready to go out. Almost waiting. Oh, the car's not starting. Hang on. Yeah, I don't think it's starting. The car's stuck. Pass back up to you guys. We'll try. Oh, no, car's going. I don't know if you can still hear me, but I'll pass back up to you guys. He's just about to go back out on track.
So it sounds like it's just fired about. It's a bit of a moment to think before the car should back now, so the 3 minutes must be up. Just time of that. What did the class big leader 8 come through, which is Matthew Titmarsh. He's still leading class B. The sport car for Lando Whitty has been pushed back out and is going back out into the race. Accelerate away. Just in front of the number 1 car of
I thought I'd you all my symbols on the TSL screen, but the little disc there, does that indicate some sort of penalty?
Yeah, that's the penalty. Yes, they got a 5-second penalty.
Okay. To Matthew Hampson and the Andy Schultz BMW M2 CS racing car. So I was just momentarily concerned that that car had not maybe come through a split recently, and they were trying to locate it, but it's actually an in-race penalty. So Kevin Clark's BMW pitting on lap 19, which was about 35 minutes into the race. So when you've got a 50-minute pit window, 5-minute pit window, literally use 5 minutes of it and then stop. So it doesn't leave much wriggle room should the weather take a turn or should something else happen a little later on. I didn't know for sure from Kieran whether there was definitely a driver change, as he didn't give Kevin Clark back in, but the car was in there for such a long time. I think they have to have done the driver change. And Aldo Ritti takes over. Now you said that Aldo maybe doesn't offer quite the speed that Kevin can, but this is his chance to step up, isn't it? And unfortunately he's got to swallow the fact that he's now already allowed, well maybe two laps down, yeah, 2 laps down, because you lose a lap in the pits, and now the race leader's gone by again. But you can't let that affect you, because the number 1 car hasn't pitted yet.
Okay, so there's no driver change. So Kevin Clark has some presumably going to stay for the whole race now. Although he was flipped on the interest, as Kevin saying on the time speed, so maybe a late decision made even before the race starts, but Kevin would do the whole race on his own, which just changed things a little bit.
Duncan kind of incorporates the air release as well, doesn't it? So the venting valve, as the fuel goes in, the air comes out, and that's what makes the whole process very quick indeed.
Back out, I suppose, goes the race free car as well. That's the particular line taken over the car that was, I think, second or third in class, but so far. So you'll see the race as well when they stop. The other car that's going to continue, even though the pit lane out, it's the 55.
Clark maybe thought that this would be the case somehow. He didn't seem overly concerned when around Kieran, because he probably had his powder face on, but the poker face. But actually, when the car is overheating to that extent, it's jumped straight into the garage on this occasion. Is there anything they can do? Because if the engine temperature is spiking, you risk doing an awful lot of damage to, I'm sure, a very expensive BMW engine. Give it a bit more time, allow the air to get at it, and if the temperature's not going down, I'm afraid that might be just time to park it now.
Yeah, we've got the 119 car now in, that's Bobby Trundley to add it to Sandro Ballesteros. It's a local circuit, it's from Rochdale, only 17 years of age, and started racing the Junior Supercar Championships, also did some 6 trophy racing. Now, and he featured in the CBC fast-track documentary following his journey from cars to cars. And Park with Dad with support from the team. There's also rated every penny for visiting the SCC as well. They can see that's not the pit lane, that's the side of the pit lane behind the garages, and that's where we find Kevin Clark at the moment, Johnny.
Yeah, he's driven it very close to his trailer, in fact, so that if the car stops there, then it's, I suppose, easy to push it the remaining distance. The smoky, it probably was smoke rather than steam on that occasion, seems to have drifted now, but the engine's probably been turned off.
As Ryan Parkin's in the pit lane as well.
Ryan Parkin in from second place, yes.
And he's going to hand over to Dylan Brichter for the second part of the race, and that's going to be split pretty evenly because there's 45 minutes gone, 55 minutes of the race left to go. So it's going to be Dylan Brichter who, along with Ryan, took the win in the last meeting at Silverstone as well in August. And those two drivers pretty evenly matched as well. So those drivers will be out shortly. So Scott Parkin's still out there, and about probably now half a lap ahead of the car that's second place on the road, which is Darren Ball, who's yet to make his stop in his Cupra, and then you've got the Luke Browse Cupra just about as half a second behind Darren Ball at the moment, as we're watching Alan Blanco in the 444 car down in 18th position on the moment after what I think was a slightly longer than sort of strictly necessary pit stop earlier on in the race, but Blanco down in 18th position at the moment. The car behind him on track is the 55 car of Paul Simerson in that BMW M4 GT4 for the driver from Nuneaton.
Making some good progress after its stop now is the Gadsby driven 117 BMW Compact. So Ian Jones got out of that, Martin Gadsby takes over, and the Bristolian is already up to 10th position with a stop under his belt. So that's good now to the finish for just under 54 minutes still to go. Cooper's still lapping at a very similar speed as well. Remember, there were three of them, now the two that have not yet stopped. So Darren Ball ahead of Luke Browse, up as high as third and fourth now. Will become second and third, in fact, with the pit stopping Ryan Parkin. Handing over to Dylan Brichter as we speak. So that Audi as well going a lap down, as you automatically do with your pit stop. The leader is now completely in isolation on lap 25, the only car on, sorry, lap 26, the only car on lap 26 currently.
Yeah, the 333 car's in the pit lane at the moment. That's the MX-5 of Thomas Steadman handing over to Michael Hooper. A car that has a 10-second success penalty from the previous meeting. In the midst of the pit stops, we've had about half of the drivers have made the stop so far. Kevin Clark's obviously been in twice and to be out of the race, so quite a few drivers yet to make their pit stops. It's going to get a very busy week with all the stuff. It's not been the case today. Still plenty of 37 minutes remaining. This battle, it's for second and third as things stand. Darren Ball and Browse here. What times they're doing? Well, Browse to the best of 1:55, Ball to the best of 1:52. That's not the race still, is what I think. Yes, Scott Park 1:48 and 1:47. No smoky haze, but a TDI and a TT. Goes Dylan Brichter back out into the 52 minutes of the race left to go. Michael Downey as well in his sports watch.
Yeah, Darkside Development's obviously a big initiative, but I don't know how many personnel they bring to a Jaguar. Okay, but could they service two cars at once, or is it a deliberate ploy to pit them a few minutes apart at least?
Yeah, I think they could
well, they actually have the luxury to not need to at this stage, again, because of almost the orchestrated way that they dictated this race from the off. Scott Parkin, it felt to me as if he was giving the role of jetting off into the distance, whereas Ryan Parkin wasn't going slow, but he wasn't going the same speed as Scott, and almost acting as a rear gunner, just going fast enough, I suppose, to hold Kevin Clark up here and there. The other thing is, of course, Kevin Clark's actually sitting behind a car at close quarter, a very hot race car, for a significant chunk of time. So has that lack of fresh air to the BMW actually caused the overheating problem?
Yeah, still with the help. Being disrupted. And Christie's the third of those three cars. So full weighted one, Class B, 36 entry, a driver from London. Let's head down to the pit lane, shall we? And down the parking cars. Seems like we just have 1 or 2 technical issues with Kieran's mic there. We're back down with him just as soon as we can. Circuits at present. Down with them just as soon as we can be. Which are halfway through this race now, just under 50 minutes left to go. It is Scott Parkin in the Martins lead, 25 down the board, 22 Luke Krause. That's just changed. Yes, it has. Luke Krause has just got through. Just as all say that, John.
Yeah, the green car suddenly appearing ahead of the black and Dayglow yellow, so maybe that was done into Old Hall, or into Lodge Corner, I should say, at the end of the previous lap, possibly through the Knickerbrook chicane, but it's very recent. They were separated by just 0.7 of a second as they headed across the line, and now an opportunity for Luke Krause to open up more of a gap. That car's not stopped yet, nor is Darren Ball, nor is Scott Parkin, who leads the motor race. The 10 car, started by Robert Fennick, needs to still pit as well, but that is a chunk further down the road from those squabbling Cupras. Well over to the right now is the rejoining number 6 car. Hopefully we can still hear from Ryan Parkin very shortly, but his teammate Dylan Brichter now at the wheel of car number 6 and straight into the traffic.
Yeah, no respite for him. And even though he's not in the traffic, there might sometimes be sort of got a fair look, because there's quite a sprousal lap times from front to back. The fastest cars in this race are maybe, well, the first time was 1:48.47 for Scott Parkin. And then going towards the back, yeah, he's sort of 2 minutes plus. For some of the cars, we're getting about 6 minutes, 5s. Sort of 2 minutes in terms of their best lap times. Actually, for the Class C car, it's in Eden. So he's in 1:57.072, 9 seconds off the Class A. By the way, it's a bit more power to weight ratio rather than the others. So different splits. Brake horsepower to Class A, 240 horsepower to Class B, and 80 brake horsepower to maximum for Class C. This is a variation as well for general theme. Certified for the season, fantastic to make sure that teams are applying with the power to weight split to display the minimum weight of the car, which is calculated based on XM as well, and check that they are on the weighing scales into later in the championship as well. There's the Darkside Moments car, number 1 now in. Scott Parkin into pit lane then from the race lead. You can see the cold air blowing in just to try and prevent these cars from overheating. The point of interest here is where he's going to come out relative to Dylan Brichter, who's just gone across the line now. Now, in theory, of course, Scott was ahead of Ryan Parkin on track for the pit window open. And, of course, Ryan Dillon got 30 seconds pit stop. So whereas Scott's only got 10 seconds. So really, if Scott doesn't come out in front of Dillon, then the rest of the Scott can have on that pit stop.
Yeah, true. But those things can happen. So it's a useful thing to measure between now and all the cars rejoining. We will have had to have done the pit stop within the next 30 minutes, 15 minutes from the end. Two BMWs very evenly matched, so this is the 10 car that hasn't yet stopped. 68 looking for a way to one lap itself. 69 was that BMW?
Yes, 62.
62, I'll get that.
So 69, you're right, first time.
Hamilton and Schultz, who have stopped, they are looking to unwrap themselves as now the Audi, which is the Scott Parkin car, number 1, will retain Scott as its driver and head back into the race, just out of, well, it is in fact, let's say out of your vision, but in ours, and it's in yours now as well. So back to the racetrack goes Scott Parkin. Everything will have cooled off, of course, so important to ease your way back into the stint, and actually relatively calm, both in front and behind, where the car was rejoined.
Yeah, and well ahead of Dylan as well. You can see it was much further back because that car was going out as well. It's just across the line now. Let's see what the gap is between those two cars. A feel of that as they come through those tyres. Exactly how big that gap is. So the three cars that, first and third are the three cars that get to stop them. That's 222 Luke Browse, number 10 Mark Fennick, and number 8 Matthew Tippett. That's B. Class C is still being led by Sam Dennis and Ash Moore, now making their stop. Still being massive run away to grab the ClubEnduro Crown around Spur. Pseudo scrap going on, and Sam Schultz is going to try and, if he can, to get ahead of the sort of second M2. So Fennick is on lap 30, and Schultz is on lap 28, 31, 29 as they cross the line. And so there's 2 laps between. Schultz should be a little bit quicker than fast driving the Hamilton. These two, by definition of both the M2s, it's competitive areas, 206 miles on international circuit.
BMW's shadowing each other's every move, so they arrive together into the Shell Oils hairpin now. So leading remains, for the first time in fact, Luke Browse. It's still Luke Browse at the wheel of that green Seat after he made the move a little earlier on with Darren Ball. Darren has now pitted in the number 25 Cupra. Fennick Shepherd to become Shepherd, car number 10 BMW, is also not yet a stopper. Benefiting from not paying a pit call is the Ginetta G40 that was receiving so much attention from Kieran Mobb earlier on. So that G40 heavily up-tuned into the overall top 3 now. So that will all equalise in due course. So the 10 BMW threatening to hold up a faster car here. The 69 of now Schultz. Andy Schultz looking for a way by, but can't do it at the moment, and they're going by a much older BMW, the E30.
Yeah, nice to see the different generations of BMW in 30 years or so between them. Right, it looks like Fennick has come into the pits now, 41 minutes of the race left to go, so it's come out of the race, out of second position, and that does free up then Andy Schultz in the number 69. Shepherd as he appears from we've got racer. Wayne, who is 52 years of age, from Sleaford, company director. In his first season of racing track days for 20 years. He's driven for Audi Challenge cars in and around straight tracks in the UK and Europe. But he's a wheelchair user, his car has hands controls, and it's led by Platform Racing. Track and build cars.
Unbelievably, the floppy bollard, which is at Britain's chicane, lasted almost an hour, but it got absolutely whacked by possibly a couple of cars at the same time and has now been completely flattened. But I can't believe it's remained standing until an hour into an hour and 40-minute race.
That's what it is. The pits, by the way, the range, we can take a look at pit lane as well.
Pressure off Luke Browse in the 20 car. Paul will take over. That is a Senat layout TCR for the drivers from Suffolk. 25 just going for a shot. Still Darren Ball, he's solo driving today. Worcestershire driver with his Cooper TCR, but with company. So heading up Clay Hill. It's going to be an interesting run to the end of the lap. When these final stops are made, then we'll get a true complexion, a true idea of which way this race is going. We kind of work that out, to be honest, anyway, because the 4th and the 5th placed Audis were separated by not very much at all for a whole host of laps in the early stages. I saw the gap coming down to as little as 2.7 seconds. It's now going to be the thick end of half a minute.
And this very experienced driver, he's 56 years old. Been racing since 1989, he's raced since the late 1980s, then again in the 7th of Formula 4, Formula 4 2000, Formula 4 set for the Open Motors, British GT6 champion, Brit Car champion, he's been GT Cup Class champion, Super. Races, the S55 Turbo Straight City, by his team, ASR Motorsport, BMW Motorsport car they were running into in 2022 and 2022. Chris Ruff is about to get out into the race for the 37 minutes that are remaining. Team counting him down, pushing the car back out into the race, don't want to make any mistakes. Pick up any unnecessary penalties. Just want to get that Janessa. Goes back out into the race. The crash the other day that Janessa got a facelift to one of their cars that are racing in Janessa Junior. Also Janessa GT Championship as well.
That might be the only car where the order of the names on the timing screen is inaccurate, because I had Webster circled for car end.
I think you're right, aren't you? Yes.
It's a rare thing. Note this down in your diary, folks. But yes, Matthew Tinmarsh, in fact, taking over from Chris Webster, but otherwise Tier's only done a cracking job. Should have moved the names around to mean that the first one listed was the starting driver.
Shall we hear from Chris Webster now?
Why not?
Let's get out to Karen.
I'm down here with Chris Webster from the Jetta. Ian, I know you've been taking about me like a Jetta. I don't care. Let's talk about it. You're currently leading your class. How's it been out there?
It's been good, actually, yeah. Been free, I'd say, really. I was a bit worried about kind of starting next to Buttergill in the 83 Honda, but I think fortune played a little bit into our hands at the start, because it was a Class A car that peeled off into the pit lane behind the safety car, and it ruined Williams' momentum. So I managed to get to the first corner clear of him, and then it's been absolutely ever since.
Absolutely. And how you found the traffic management out there?
It's not too bad at all. I mean, it's just what we're used to, isn't it? So, yeah, a few Class A's to duel with, some B's and C's that I've either, I don't know whether I've come round onto them or they've done pit stops and they're suddenly, in the pits together. It's been alright. Yeah, no events, no drama.
And how you looking for the end of the race, do you think?
It's a Ginetta, it's a race car. There's two reasons why I'm nervous. Matt's an ace driver. Me and him are always within a couple of tenths of each other wherever we go. It's a really good pairing, so as long as the little car does its job, we'll be fine.
So we're not going to say anything about anything then. Good luck for the end of the race.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers, thank you. Back to you guys up in comms.
Webster down there leading Class 3, handing over to his buddy Matthew Titmarsh for the second part of the race. Meanwhile, Northwest such that we want yet to do so is the 7 Horsemen, 33, Jody Hamilton, hope that will appear in pit lane before too much longer. There is the 69 car of Andrew Schultz, who's got the lap on the master of Thomas Steffen. Now it's his teammate Michael Booth. There's the Luke and Paul Prowse car. Again, doing some work on the tyres there.
Yeah, it's fronts, isn't it? Certainly front left that's been changed. It's interesting to me that the Audi's Scott Parkin's car was having the wheel nuts just torqued to the right, max the right level, but I don't think that the tyre change on either of those Audis. That was just a check because you've got the tyre deep. This is definitely the front left. The tyre has been taken off in the foreground, the correct side of the white line. Again, an attempt to get the engine temperature down as much as possible with the coolers. It was taken with the car as it flowed back onto the deck, and that will return very shortly.
It will indeed. So soon we're going to give you a rundown of the order as it stands after the pit stops, because it is now starting to make more sense. But we have a situation whereby basically Scott Parker leading the race by 36 seconds into Britain, and it looks like Darren Ball possibly is going to be in third position. We'll get an update on that. It certainly is a new tyre on the left front there. So we see the label on the tyres, the red front. That'll be on the right as well.
Stickered tyres, as they say in the business. So it's brand new fronts for both. I wonder whether that will be, well, I wouldn't say noticeably different because Paul Browse is not in the car yet in the race, but he will definitely feel the benefit of lots of grip just as soon as the tyre actually gets up to temperature. Also, sometimes there's a release agent you have to get rid of as well, so it could be a bit greasy, a bit sideways for the first few corners, and then the grip will properly kick in.
There's half an hour to go. So Scott Parker, he's now leading the time to as well, because he's just running to go. There's half a minute or so clear of Dylan Richter with the second. And then it should be third, I think, for Class B. Yeah, that's all right. Managed to lead the Let's see, that's Dennis. So they're looking good for spare that's the 481 later. That's the solo. Well, you can use on the grid in this race. One car then, the race lead just putting a lap there on number 10, which is now Andrew Shepherd, who's taken over. He's in 6th position, so I think it will now be 2 laps down.
over Sen and Osman to head into the pits. So that's the only car now not to have stopped. There needs to be a driver change there as well to Jody House. So it's going to take time.
Yep.
15 minutes in order to do that legally. But it will drop the 171 car further down the rankings in Class B. The car that Executive trying to catch is the number 8 Ginetta. We've just spoken at length, of course, to Chris Webster. He's handed over to Matthew Titmarsh and comfortably leading Class B. Well, it's 22, nearly 23 seconds. The Ginetta separated back to now the Christopher Nyland of the Civic Type R. Some interesting comments from Chris Webster to say actually traffic's not too bad. This is a lengthy circuit and a slightly smaller grid than we're perhaps used to in the ClubEnduro has made that a tad easier. Although traffic has the habit of clumping together and you don't want to be suddenly turning the corner to see 3 or 4 cars right on the bit of asphalt that you want. So it depends as well where you're finding the traffic and how much of a delay it can cause.
I think we're safe on range during the course of this race, but if it's possible we might get to that when the race is finished. Safe for 20 minutes or so of this race. It's really from the driver's out the spectators here on this car as well. So there's the one car that's doing the legal stop, the 7-1 car of Senna Osman and Jody House. Surely will come in fairly soon to give Jody a reasonable stint of racing for the second half. Let's see which car is the fastest car out there at the moment. Well, it's looking like it's probably Dylan Brinton actually, the fastest on the last lap, 50.182. But that's Alan Blake, no car, very good, on the last lap. And yeah, indeed, 171.5. So that's everyone now.
We mentioned the 5-second time penalty for the Fenwick Shepherd BMW M2. It's only just flashing up now, and I think being indicated as well. We'll give that a couple of laps to make sure that Shepherd, who now drives the number 10 BMW, has been given that additional penalty. So his car is currently 7th, not taking the 5-second time penalty into account just yet. Oh, is it at the end rather than in race? There was a time when TSL was toying with time penalties whilst we were going on. That caused problems in himself, yes, as well.
Especially trying to give himself a safety car. I think on this car.
Across the piece, that's the better way of doing it.
There's that car. Scott Parkin leads, he's completed 37 matches, 37 seconds on 6 round Parkin to the Victor, second with 6 for Parkin Victor, third with 25 Gord, fourth with 22 with Krause as well, Paul who's now on board, fifth on a lap down is number 69 Schultz, Hansen, sixth on a lap down, 7, Martin Gadsby, Jones, 7th on a lap down. 8th at the lap down, 34. Then we get to the Class B winner, number 8. Chris Webster from Chris Puttergill and Chris Niles, 21 seconds or so. 30 Class C, 16th overall is Sam Dennis, but now Schwartz taking over that car. He is well ahead of the second place car. save the spreadsheet, and I'll get confirmation of where this is going to be.
Three cars in the lead at this point. I wonder whether there's any advance on that. Yeah, the green Cupra has not yet been lapped by Scott Parkin's Audi. So that car, the Browse car, is also just about on the lead lap. Gives you an idea of the difference between the two TTs, the Darkside developments. There's a gap of nearly 40 seconds now, so Scott Parkin is heading through the run between Druids and Lodge Corner. His twin brother Ryan, well, earlier on in the car, now Dylan Brichter is still way back at Knickerbrook, and it will be four cars in total on the lead lap. And I reckon the Hampson and Schultz car, also to be given a penalty at the end of the race, is just now off the lead lap, having been overtaken by car number 1. How much more does Scott need to do? Scott Parkin needs to do to get ahead of the number 22 green Cupra. So that will take another car off the lead lap. The big ass to lap the field. Dylan Brichter is charging on, though half a second slower last time through Scott Parkin. So Dylan's not quite as quick as Ryan Parkin, fair to say. Meanwhile, Darren Ball, with his number 25 Cupra, is arriving into Lodge Corner now with this striking colour scheme. Dayglow yellow and grey wrap. That car will head across the line in third position. The difference is a minute and 14 seconds back to up to the race leader Scott Parkin.
Let's head down to pit lane
Yes, well, I've got an audio report on the 117 BMW, the 3 Series Compact. Unfortunately, has just come in with brake failure. Driver reported that the brake pedal had gone straight to the floor, and obviously, unfortunately, unsafe to continue. So they are in the garage now. The brakes are absolutely smoking, and the driver is just getting out of the car. Shame way to end the race, really, but safe thing to do. So back to you guys in commentary.
As things stand, that looks like it's going to go down to
There's smoke coming out of that spreadsheet, like Kevin Clark's BMW from earlier on.
Absolutely. I think if things stay as they are, then the classification will at least go down to the final round. Although having said that, the car I was thinking that might take the fight to Tim Martin is the car that we saw on the inset in the pit lane there for the scheduled stop. The Chris Nyland and Will Pussygill, number 83 car, is in the pit lane
for the second time.
So, and if that is the case, then yeah, all bets are off in terms of the championship. It might be Tim Martin.
I wonder how aware of that situation they are. From a team perspective, maybe you don't want to give your drivers too much information. You want to into the car, I'm sure. You don't wish ill on a competitor at any point. But this late in the season, just a sign that maybe the stars starting to align in your favour when you see an opponent like that jacked up on the left-hand side. The attention is front horn, I'd say the wheel was off. Concerned about the amount the brakes have been wearing or something overheating. So that's not going to rejoin in a hurry. Meanwhile, we have 5.5 minutes of the pit window still open, but everybody has now made at least one pit stop. So they should have all been fine. We did have that one early stop in it, and that was a car with a problem. So they were never going to call that because it was the ambulance stop.
No, but I have had a notification that they've kind of accepted that if they're in the pit lane for 22 minutes, they're probably going to so that's the
It's good memory.
So less than 20 minutes to go now. But with that 9.5 minutes to go, good well to sort out all of the passes.
Yes.
I see you sort out already. Class A, Class B, still to be determined this weekend. It looks like Scott Parkin and Tim Ross respectively contracting if things stay this way. Just the 1 metre to go, still after this at Donington Park. That's on the Grand Prix circuit at Donington. We've got a battle of this going on, and this is for position, isn't it? And it's a change.
It is, and a change. But the key thing about the Hampson and Schultz BMW is that they've got to now build a lead of 5 seconds because they're carrying this penalty that will only be assessed at the end. So there'll be the warnings there. It's effectively been divvied out, but it will only be felt on the timing screen once the checkered flag is waved. So yes, now the job of Andy Schultz to try and build a gap, make sure that the car does finish 4th rather than 5th, which that timing margin would mean it slips behind the Cupra. Still frantic work going on the number 83 car. They definitely get this car back into the race for the reasons you've explained.
Yes, so what's your 4th place then as well, Andy Schultz for the moment? We did that at Oulton. I think orange cars seem to attract orange cars in this race. We've now got the 19 James Pickford. Has got Edward Christie's number 481, and indeed the Boxster's behind as well. It's fantastic for any fans of orange racing cars. If they're here today, you're being spoiled. Absolutely. I imagine the marshals must cheer them on. That's why they're going so well, and all the support they've got here today.
Yes, and there must be something magnetic about that shade, because yeah, it's weird, isn't it, how it's panned out like that. We had a couple of orange cars together, but now I think all of them collected down at Knickerbrook and climbing the hill of I'll get it right in a minute, what's it called? Clay Hill, there we go. As the 83 Honda is back on the move.
It is, which is good news. It's Oulton Park, Johnny.
Thank you.
That's all right. The 171 car was also in the pits. That was a battery failure for the Osman and Halth's car. Struggling to get that restarted, so I think they may have called that a day, unfortunately. So 17 minutes or so left to go in this race now. Everyone's made their stops, and just looking to see if there is the makings of a battle anywhere, but the closest one I can see looks to be for second in Class C, I think, between the Michael Hooper MX-5 and the Tom Walker BMW. About half a second between them. Let's head down to pit lane once again, and we'll hear from Kevin Mark.
Yes, now you may have seen a couple of the back of the shots there as Johnny was filming in the pit lane that the 171 Climax BMW M3 unfortunately was stuck right here in the middle of the pit lane. Basically what happened is they'd done the driver swap, they'd gone out and the car died. They brought the battery booster down to try and jump it, got it started again, disconnected it, and the car died once again, and unfortunately they've just wheeled it out of the pit lane now, and it unfortunately is out of the race. Sad way to end the race again, but back to you guys up in commentary.
Particularly, Kieran, as they got this far, it's an hour and 40 minutes, and within not quite sight of the checkered flag, but inside the final 20 minutes, the late and much missed Hugh Chamberlain often used to say about runs at Le Mans is if you were going to retire, much better to retire in the first 2 hours than the final 2 hours, to have stayed up all night and fully committed to it. Learn your fate as early as possible, and then you can go down the pub, was his general way of thinking.
It seems a perfectly reasonable way of thinking as well, doesn't it? Just looking at the potential implications of, oh, there's a spit. Oh, hang on. This could affect my spreadsheet again. That's the 119 car, the Audi TT of Sandro Ballesteros, which has spun. He's got the wipers going, the steam, I think that is, emitting from under the bonnet of the Audi TT. So that's spun off at Nipperdruck by the looks of it. And it doesn't look like it wants to get going again.
Hasn't stalled. I imagine it has all gone into some sort of limp mode, which trying to get that out of the systems check. It's electrical more than anything else.
Before I saw that car stranded on the grass, I was about to say implications of that late stop from Oulton are that they wouldn't be able to overhaul Tim Marshall Webster, but Trundy and Ballesteros would have been able to overhaul Trundy and Webster. So, well, they could have got level with them in the front row. I think the way it's going, Johnny, the championship could have decided in favour of Tim Marshall Webster today. If they get to the end, it looks like reliability possibly, and spin as their rivals will get the final possible hit on the impact that has in about 14 minutes time.
Yeah, a significant moment, particularly now as Sandro Ballesteros is not moving again. The car to cooperate. Stranded on the grass, it looked like it would stall. That could have well been as a result of a spin. Meanwhile, the race leader, Scott Parkin, not encountering those sort of problems. In a similar car, mind you, TDI heads over start and finish line right in front of our commentary position. Lots of tyre pickup on the outside of Oulton corner now, so you're not going to be going too wide into that. His grip will be at a real premium. Scott not needing to worry because there's a real racing line that has developed over the last hour and a bit.
Marshall now on the scene, but not widely in Ballesteros Audi TT as well. Trying to intervene in some to get that car to position of safety, and we get the safety car with 13 minutes of the race to go. Just want to get those windows closed, because that might be a back yourself. It looks like all it's going to do is push it up against the barrier there, so this is quite a short safety car period, but it might be able to spark a little bit more interest in some backers, it closes some gaps before the end. So we'll see how that works. It doesn't look like they're going to get the attention of that coverage. There's the 170 reporting about a few minutes ago, and there is the safety car.
It's a challenge to go through those plastic blocks going forwards, but now reverse. So almost auto test style.
So they are going to try and move the
way through. The other question, of course, is whether this interrupts with some of the other class battles at all. Gives certain cars, maybe class leaders, a massive lead they wouldn't have already had. Very dependent on Scott Parkin's location in relation to Class B and Class C front runners.
So it's going to take a few moments to think, because depending on how much racing is the left, if any, this is just I'm surprised they are going to try to move it. circuit.
There's the race leader. The half red, half yellow Formulas on the dark side. It's Audi, car number 1. And then in behind, that Mazda will not be on the lap. So how close is this going to draw the Dylan Richter car? It's going to have a lot of cars between the two Audis, so it won't have a clear line of sight. This definitely equalises the field, and maybe in the favour, well, totally in the favour of the chasing cars. One that's really going to lose out in this scenario is Scott Parker. Thankfully, this car has proved to be very fast so far. Paul Brow's driven Cupra is also far away from the race leader, but not on the same lap. Lap back, the bright green Cupra. And there's the Audi, the second of the Darkside cars. So car 6, maybe about 10 cars separating them ish.
It's looking at the point situation in Class B. It's going to split there. That's a much more of the Class B Championship as well. So Scott Parker in the front of Class A, Tim Rockwood in the front of Class B, and quite respective categories in this race. Can we go to it? Yeah, to the race. So, there we are. That's the next day. So far being taken out of bounds. So that's clear for circuit 2. I think we'll be one more lap behind the safety car. So that's going to give us about 5.5 minutes or something of racing. So maybe another 3-4 laps possibly. Gaps it has closed up, so if we look 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, that's Luke, Paul Browse now, Alan Blanco, Schultz, Paul Browse, Blanco, Shepard, they're getting to only a few seconds, really. There's through a bit further back, 14, 15, 16. It's going to be trying to make up places to get on total parking down there, which I don't think is the I think 4th place for it's as good as it's going to get that pit stop that they had to make. That's the car that's just going through now on the street. Wasn't the pits for a little while for the stop. Cost them a chance of taking the fight, title fight at October. Factory circuit there. Staying with another MS3 track to complete the season. MS3 circuits to increase next season. Marshall has got a yellow flag in one hand, he's got a green flag in the other hand. It's just to give him a word that to the end of this lap, the safety car will go in.
His name almost being called there. We don't know every Marshall by name, but we're learning slowly. Yeah, so that's the definite indication. Maybe, in fact, the lights are out. Great spot here. The lights extinguished at Water Tower pretty much just before the Druids double right-hander. And yeah, all eyes on that fight for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Made more spicy because there are 5-second penalties integrated into that as well. So the 69 car now driven by Andy Schultz. Can't afford to waste too much time here in the second of the third of the white BMW, who's wanting to try and gap that green Cupra as much as possible in the 6 minutes that remain.
So here they come over the line with just under 6 minutes to go, and a good restart there from Scott Parker. Of course, he had got Class A MX-5 behind him at one of his Class A rivals, so all the cars sort of shuffled out of the group of their lap pace really. So down as they emerge from this queue behind the safety car. Scott Hoggins just over quite a long daylight between himself and the Bespoke Tuning Products. Schultz now has cleared the MX-5, and as you say, he's got 5 seconds actually, so too there's Matthew Shepherd a bit further back as well. So we feel on the timing screen at the end of the race to exactly finish with those 4 places.
Shepherd in the number 10 M2 BMW. So in this match, yeah, there he was on the outside line, leaving Shell Oils. 2 Cupras together. They were together in the opening stanza as well. Just before there was a very slight error for Claire Norman heading into Lodge Corner, which rather changed the order. Over the top and into Nickelbrook go the race leaders. It's only 7.2 seconds time line between the Parkin and Brichter Audis, but the problem is Brichter's got all this traffic to try and deposit. Scott Parker's on an open road, so we very much expect the number 1's lap time at the end of this, the first racing lap from the safety car, will be a lot faster than Audi number 6.
Yeah, it certainly should be. That is difficult to get past even sort of slower cars like the bounce past that. That's a beer. It's easy to get through here at Oulton Park. Turning their way over through. Across the line has already gone. Scott Parkin. He's the best lap of the race on that first run. That was 1:48.225. So making sure that fastest lap bonus point as well. You can see. There's a battle for position. That's Browse and Blanco. Paul Browse and Blanco. That's 5th and 7th. Green Cupra and there's a Cupra behind it. Far behind that is the bit further back. There were sort of shots of one in front of it. Basically, 7 seconds on that first lap.
Yeah.
It seems to pick traffic. Scott Parkin wasn't Dylan Brichter, I should say. It is.
Yeah, Scott Parkin doing the fastest lap of the race, and Brichter wanted to, but getting rather frustrated, I'm sure, in amongst a lot of the traffic. It's very easy to throw a great position in this race, standalone race, away, because first and a second place finish for Darkside Developments is something we've been aiming for as we got this 1 hour and 40-minute race underway. Still the chance for the Cupras to switch positions. Blanco applying the pressure to Paul Brow's car. Meanwhile, the gap at the start of this lap to Andy Schultz in the 69 BMW is halfway there. 2.7 seconds he's at the start of lap 50, 49 for the Schultz BMW, in fact. Still 3 cars remain on the lead lap. Scott Parkin's on the ragged edge, braking, turning, squealer tyres. Now to the outside goes Alan Blenko to try and pick off Paul Browse, and he's done it. Excellent move, late on the brakes to the outside of Lodge Corner. And is he going to stay ahead? Yeah, he's comfortably ahead, heading over the start and finish line. So the Norman and Blenko blue and white Cupra treble 4 now into 5th spot, could even be 4th once you incorporate the penalties.
And there is our Class B leader, just going full shot. That's the number 8, Matthew Titmarsh. Jeanette. The car behind it is the car in it's the third place, but a lap behind. That's the Michael Downey Porsche Boxster. There is the number 19 car. That is the car that is in between the second place. That's James Pickford in the rear of the TT. Just ahead of that on the road is the car that's in 4th place within that class. That's the British car that is also 4th place. And therefore, not quite going to do enough to take the time for fight to Donington Park.
Minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. Second place Audi. 17 seconds adrift now. That is Dylan Brichter. Monitoring the gap back to Darren Ball to a certain extent, but it's a figure of 10 seconds, so he doesn't need to be hugely concerned about that. Immediately behind is the Christopher Nyland driven Honda Civic Type R, who spent all of that time in the pit lane. We're addressing something related to the front of the corner. A further penalty It's an extra 10 seconds now to be added to the Fenwick and Shepherd BMW car number 10. It was already carrying a 5-second penalty probably for track limits and a further track limit infringement. They're incremental steps, so the next one is a 10-second penalty, so 15 in total.
Yeah, so that's definitely helped their cause. It would probably cost them a position. Going on here, this is James Pickford, the Audi TT, taken by the MS. Just ahead of him. Now onto the last lap has been Scott Parkin, 19 seconds to the good in this race now. And it's looking like this is going to be his third win of the season, already had wins in Hatching through the circuit and Snetterton as well. In fact, he's scored all of his wins at MSV circuit, so he's clearly a great fan of the Jonathan Palmer owned facilities to anyway, heading down towards the right-hander at his laps for the second final time in this race. Through Nick and Brooks, about a third of a lap to go down. Climbing the hill, Mayhill, under pedestrian bridge. Then there's the tower here. Then into the right-hander, George Delapex right-hander. Out of it, he will come onto the essentially a straight, he's got his hand out in the cockpit. He's a very hot hand, he's celebrating already. And
Saying thank you to all the marshals.
he is not probably going to do that. He's slowed down now, but he's so far ahead he can do it on the last lap of the race. He's going to take the checkered flag now, and he wins for the third time this season, the Scott Parkin in the ClubEnduro Championship. He also wraps up the Class A Championship for ClubEnduro for 2024. Next couple of cars over the line is going to be Schultz and Bentley Blanco. But Schultz, with that penalty, plays back to 5th place.
Yeah. The other penalty I've not mentioned because it doesn't really affect his position is Darren Ball. He got a late 5-second penalty in car 25.
So let's have a look at the results then. It is the number 1 car of Scott Parkin that took the win. At the end of 52 laps, he was 21 seconds clear of number 6, Ryan Parkin and Dylan Briggs. There was a Darkside Developments 1-2 there for the Audi TTs.